versus soO. To the top right-hand side, our pink Protoss player is Zest. Bottom left-hand side, it's our blue Zerg, soO from GVO Esports. Getting this set up and ready to go. And looking to see what's going to happen here in the next few moments for our final series of the day. Winner of this, as they have both lost to Solar, winner of this series will end up in second place of the group. The loser will end up in third. Both players will advance, but it's a slight seeding difference. So soO in the bottom left, Zest in the top right. And we look to see what the PVZ will bring us to wrap this up. So going to see a probe coming down to the bottom left-hand side, and I'm ready to see what's going to be happening. I was going to see the hatchery dropping down here, and the extractor coming up as well. And as you're going to be seeing hatch gas and pool dropping down, getting this rolling, getting this underway, seeing what's going to happen. So Nexus drops in. We are going to be seeing that spawning pool coming up, just about halfway done. And there's the Cybernex core dropping down at the front from Zest, so getting this rolling here. Seeing what goes down as the Cyber core comes through. Zest obviously played, I feel, kind of weird against Solar. That game where he played the Robo opening and then kind of looked like he was going to all in, then it just didn't come for so long. He started making probes and it just felt like he was very lost in all of that. Just felt like he was very lost in all of that in terms of what he wanted to try and achieve, so that's a little bit intriguing as we do see the Cyber core here now about to finish up. A gateway going to start chrono boosting out an adept. So adept coming through, and we are just going to be seeing a queen setting up on the natural. Warp gate coming through, adept being chrono boosted again early game, just going to be setting up into this for the next little while. Just getting this up and running. You can see that adept shitting through in towards the natural expansion. So getting this set up, Twilight Council is building in the main base. Overlord flying in overhead to just get that little bit of information as well. So looks like Zest is going to go towards his DT drop or Archon drop, which has been pretty typical of him as well. So the other build we saw him using against Solar today. As you do see the Stalker picking away at that Overlord. So Overlord taking some damage. And is going to drop down, so you're going to get a little bit supply blocked. As a Dark Shrine from Zest starts up in the main base, so getting that underway. And as you do see this adept just shading through into the natural. Going to stay safe, took a little bit of damage across the map. There's the extra gateways to back up this Dark Shrine. No fast charge though from Zest, so it's not exactly like how he opened up against Solar in game number 2. It is going to be a bit more passive than that, a bit more just, you know, sit back, just use the Archon drop to harass around, not really looking to deal a ton of damage with kind of Zealots charging through to tank for Archons and so on and so forth. So going to be seeing the War Prism is again about halfway done. Lair on the way up here from soO as well, that's just starting. Roachron probably soon to follow. There it is, dropping down, that typical combination to deal with this opening. I mean, it's exactly how we saw Solar deal with it as well. The Roach is very good at deflecting those Archons, and obviously the Overseer is kind of a big deal as well. Also puts you into a pretty good spot, as we do see the War Prism just continue to fly through the center of the map over to the far left. See what's going on. What's up, Brimmer, coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it, as we do see a couple of DTs warping in. Prism coming forwards, a couple of DTs coming through with them. Queens, he pushed away, Zergling's coming in, and Zest does just load up. He's also sent a DT into the natural in the main base, though. This is a cool little something from Zest. Not something you always see is splitting the DTs up like this, because then it's very hard to save them, but it is going to catch soO a little bit off guard, and he's going to lose quite a few drones here. I mean, Worker's lost already 6. One of these Queens is super low as well. If you can get that Queen kill, it'll be awesome. First War Prism up to the top side with an Archon there. So all of this was just because he, just for losing 1 DT. I actually feel that's very worthwhile damage to get this many workers. Obviously now the double Archon drops will be spread out a little bit. He'll need 2 more DTs up here, 3 more down there to set this up. And this run, War Prism gets ready to go. I'm just going to see a couple more DTs warping in. So this harassment will continue to answer the question from the chat. I think it's an interesting one. Don't get how Wardy gets these top players to play for a $600 prize pool. I think a lot of it is just that it's very easy to play in these tournaments. You've got to think that these guys, they don't have a lot to lose from playing in these, right? You know, you show up, you play some builds, you play some StarCraft. You're going to be playing StarCraft for the evening anyways. You show up, you play for 2 or 3 hours. Either you advance and you are guaranteed prize money, or you don't advance and you're out of the tournament, right? You still played some practice series. So I think it's just a case of it's just so easy to play. You don't have to get a team together. It's very easy. You just sort of say, okay, I'm playing on this day. Show up, 3 hours of playing or so, and your group's done. And then you either show up for the playoffs and you're winning money, or you're not. And I mean, it's just so easy to play, and I think is the biggest thing. And it's obviously pretty good practice as well, right? Like, they're playing against pretty good players. You know, they're getting, you know, they're probably going to be playing StarCraft 2 anyways. There's some players who won't play them. They don't like it. They prefer to stream instead and focus on streaming and stuff. But a lot of these players say, well, you know what? I can stream before it and then play in the tourney. They just, I mean, just why not, I think, is kind of the reasoning. Anyways, just going to be seeing the couple of Archons lifting up and coming up to the top side. So that's going to be warping in here as we do see Zest down to the bottom. +1 missiles and groove spines on the way as Hydras are on the way out from soO. So that's going to come running in. Roaches kiting back over to the left side. Zealots and Archons running over here as well. And you just see these few Zerglings going down. A couple of Queens getting picked off as well. More Roaches dropping. There's a lot of Zealots in each base. I mean, the ones to the top got cleaned out by these Roaches. And now even more Zealots warping in over here. These Zealots are a little bit stuck, though, on the ramp. That sucks a little bit. That is actually kind of painful. We'll now move into the main, but had so much more potential to deal damage here than is actually being done. Zealots with the Archons still moving around. Needs to keep this Prism alive if he wants to get the Archons out alive. More Archons on the top side, by the way. Going huge, and these units are continuing to die from soO. This is getting a little bit out of hand right here. Good force fields. Blocks a lot of these units away. Roach is pushed away into the corner. More force fields obviously available, so Zest can just keep replacing these for a little while. Let's replace it right now. War Prism did go down. Don't think he can get another War Prism over here, but he can definitely recall while continuing to set up force fields on this ramp. So you can get these units out of here. A couple more units still dropping down in the back of the natural. There's that recall out of there, getting back home. This is a lot of damage dealt. soO is down to 35 drones against 47 probes. And while Zest's army is smaller, his army will build up very quickly now, while soO tries to rebuild worker count. And it means that the follow-up attack of Zest here has a lot of potential to be very aggressive. Is the reason for these players playing, is this the reason we see less high-level Terran players in these tournaments? I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, we only don't really see Maru. TY plays in these events from time to time. Innovation usually plays. Actually, Innovation's one of the more reliable players to play. You have Gumiho and Kira. The only really, I mean, I think the only player that doesn't really play is Maru, but you could say the same about SOS doesn't really play in these tournaments either. A lot of these extremely successful players just have no reason to play, and they just don't see the value. I mean, again, not every player plays in all of these tournaments anyways as well, so sometimes they just feel like it, sometimes they don't. So I wouldn't really say it's anything to get overcomplicated about, because it's very easy to just show up in this tournament. If you want to play as a Terran player, you can just show up and play 2-1-1 every game if you want, or something. Like, very basic build order, doesn't really reveal anything. You know, it doesn't stop you from playing in the tournament, might not give you your best chances to win, but, you know, at the same time, it was good practice, maybe a chance to win some money, win some cash, stuff like that. So yeah, I think a lot of these players just see it as a good opportunity for a little bit of extra cash. You win a few of these in the year, it does bump up your prize pools, especially for, you know, these guys who are not winning crazy amounts every time. Anyways, this game continues. More Roaches on the way up, so soO is only going to sit on 52 drones as he builds up this army. So quite a lot of units on the way out there. Hydra's speed on the way up. We'll see Roaches, Ravages, a couple of Lings down to the low ground. Storm on the way up here as well from Zest. So getting that started here as we do see the Forge Chrono boosting out as well. Army from Zest at the moment going to be gathering up together on this right-hand side. We're going to be seeing a bunch of photon cannons dropping down as well. Pylons setting up too. And this army of soO just going to move back up to the top. Just moving around in general, seeing what's going on. And I'm just going to see this army of soO just going to be able to pick its way through these rocks. And again, gain access to move across the map. Getting into position. You can see the Nexus dropping down here, and again, the Roach is chasing forwards. One of those High Templars super low. And as we're going to see, soO putting himself in a pretty good spot here. I mean, after soO didn't really have much for a little while, this is getting a little bit interesting as we do see a Storm dropping down. Zerglings on the left, wanting to push on into this here. Now we see Zest continue to gather together. A lot more Zealots warping in. And this army of soO is spread out around the place at the moment. So that's more seeing that one Archon with those couple of High Templar. Immortals, High Templars, throwing those storms down. Archon's leading the charge. A couple hallucinate Colossus. I guess why not? Actually, Zest does walk into a couple corrosive bars there. That does hurt. Loses some sentries to that. Archon's pushing through the force fields he just placed. Feels like Zest is in a little bit of a mess at the moment. Struggling a little bit initially to deal with this, but starting to stabilize now as he continues across the map. More Zealots will go charging on through. Those Ravagers getting picked off. And as those Ravagers go down, we'll see the army of soO just continue to pull back over to the left-hand side. As we are going to be seeing, looks as though Zest probably has the numbers to push on through this now and to possibly put an end to game number 1 of this best of 3. These two Archons morphing in. There we go, Immortals dealing a little bit of damage. Corrosive Bow drops, pulling back. One Immortal going down. Again, a good little bit of micro here to begin with. So let's go charging forwards. These army units continue to fight here. A lot of these Roaches taking a lot of damage, you've got to say. Although the micro on the Immortals being able to pull back very well, and soO's just not going to be able to hold into this. Just very nicely done overall. As you see Zest pulling back a little bit. Going to see those Roaches continue to run away over to the left-hand side. Now we're going to be seeing those Zealots continuing to warp in as well. Just going to be seeing the game going to wrap up, and Zest is going to take game number 1. Obviously just has way too much there in the boom. To the top right hand side, our pink Protoss player, this is Zest, up against the blue Zerg. In the bottom left we have got soO. Superior Hands comes in with the 2-month resub. Wow. So Printer Hands and Superior Hands both resubscribing. Thank you so much, guys. All the hands giving us a hand, helping run these tournaments and supporting the stream. Gateway on the way up as we get this rolling, get this started up here. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I've had great viewership today, guys. Really awesome to see so many of you here. So thank you so much. Hats off to all of you for being super duper awesome. Attacker stuff of the 7 bits. I don't believe LaserSec literally came in and called himself like Lazarius Secularis on the donation. And it's just like, you make me say all these little things. Aye, aye, aye. LaserSec, are you in chat? Are you lurking? I see what you did with your name. It took me a minute, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a minute, but I figured you out. Gateway dropping down at the front. As we do see Taco Stuff with 7 bits in the chat as well. Thank you so much also for a little bit more love and support. Hatch Gas and Pool on the way up here from soO. So getting this rolling as well. Getting this underway. As we do just have the Overlord heading in towards the upper right hand side. Opinions on Automaton now that we're in a later season. The map's grown on me a lot from what it was originally. I really didn't like this map when it was first added to the map pool. I really didn't think it was that good. At the minute, I think it's kind of okay. It's kind of weird. It's still not my favorite map, but it's definitely given me better games than I thought it would be. But I think that's just typically because it is kind of a larger map. I still don't think the layout of the map is very fun or so. But I guess it's different, so maybe it's just not quite for me. Also, Rude Boy in the chat saying, thank you, Wardy, this makes work so much better. Glad we can support you through work today. Unfortunately, this is our last series of the night, so I do apologize that we're going to be leaving you very soon, apparently, after this game or one more, depending on the score. But, thank you so much for joining us, and glad we made work that much better for you guys today. Do you have the Adept coming down to the bottom left-hand side, going to be moving through into the natural and up into the main. Twilight Council going to be finishing in a moment from Zest. And the robotic facility from Zest starting up in the front as well. So getting that underway. You're going to see the Stalker is going to be fighting against the Overlord. So going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage. Overlord will go down, so a little bit of a supply block for soO. As the Dark Shrine starts up once more. So Zest's going to go for, you know, if it worked once, why on earth won't it work again? Sets up into the second game right now. When will the Roddy games be casted? We casted the Roddy games about 5 hours ago. We've been live for quite a while now. So Roddy games have already been played at the start of the stream. If you want to go check those out again, obviously you're more than welcome to down on the... you want to go and check that out, so just go to the VOD section. They're already available if you want to go and watch Roddy's games. Why do we never see the Jin Air boys in these kind of tournaments? We just had QA playing in this tournament, Creator as well, also a Jin Air boy. Trap is currently in the semi-finals of GSL, so he is also kind of a little bit busy at the moment. But yeah, SOS and Mario are the players that don't really play in these. And it's just because, well, they just don't really feel the need to, or they don't want to. Simple as that. What is this? It's still the group stages, or is it the finals? It's the groups. You can see the bracket. If you type !B in the chat, I'll tell you all about what we're watching right now. This is a Group D of the WardiTV Invitational. All 10 best of 3s from the group being casted. That's why we've been live for so long, as you can see Sport Crawlers and Lings in position. There's so much better hold off from soO this time around, not letting these DTs do anywhere near as much. In fact, has killed a DT in the main as well, so 2 DTs dead for no drones at all. Really nicely done. Really nicely done. Well, it's going to be shield batteries from Zest. Oh my god, coming in the corner of the base. This is something that Zest actually and someone did a little while back. God, this was way back when shield batteries were kind of first a thing, and someone did this and they powered up the shield batteries near a base and they kind of brought the Archons back to heal up. Okay, well, Zest's going to be building up some shield batteries here to go and heal his Archons. It means the Archons can be very aggressive, get healed, and then come straight back into the action again. So, it is something we see quite a lot of as we see those 2 Archons pressing this army down the ramp. A couple of Overlords on the high ground here going to get picked off. Overlord 1 going down, Overlord 2 taking quite a lot of damage. And again, now as these units pull back, they'll get healed up and they'll get ready to go again. soO will not see a third base because obviously Zest is building a lot of units across the map. Really focusing near these shield batteries. So, Mr. Googly Pants, thanks so much for the Twitch Prime sub for 2 months in a row. Do appreciate it. Thank you so much for returning for a second month. Do appreciate it. As you see those Archons dropping in, so coming straight back into the fight. 4 Archons against all these roaches, lifting them up whenever they get low, of course, pulling them back a little bit. Warp Prism gets low, has to be really careful about that. As we do see a couple of units warping in to protect that pylon. The shield batteries will be protected and everything again getting healed up pretty much right away. So now you can just lift up and go once more back into that main. Obviously a little bit different here from Zest than usual. As you do see these Archons coming through. Roaches taking quite a lot of damage. Once again, the thing is, I think soO's kind of happy to say, well, if you're not on a third base, I don't need to build any more drones. You can just build more and more units, so yeah, continue to build that up at the moment. We're going to be seeing Zerglings currently coming up the right-hand side. Stalker and an Immortal able to push those Zerglings away. And Stalker already going down. This Immortal going to get surrounded, going to get picked off as well, so nice shutdown here actually from soO. And over in the main base, these Archons dropping off once more. Warp Prism goes super low. Queens are not able to get in range of that. Unfortunately, it was super low. As the Archon's dropped in the low ground, protecting those shield batteries once again, but I just don't feel like Zest is making any progress here, while soO is really just building up more army, sitting on an 11 worker lead. I mean, finally, Zest throws down a third Nexus back at home, but I'm not sure if that's really going to change much at this point. Shield battery and a Zard go down. Another Zard picked off here, shield battery taking damage, Archon's taking some hits as well. So Zarkon's still flying around a little bit, couple DTs in the main base. Thank you so much, Dreaming Code, for them 4 months on the Twitch Prime as well. Thank you so much. So many resubs this game, apparently. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day. And as we're going to be seeing those Archons on the bottom once again. 3 more Ravagers morphing in at the moment. Charge, Chrono boosting out of the Twilight Councils. Again, that up and running also. And again, Roaches and Zerglings coming up to the top. And we're just going to be seeing this continuing now. More Roaches still on the way out. Going to see this army going to hit towards that Nexus. A few Corrosive Valves going to drop down here. And they're going to come in towards the Nexus. Going to see a DT coming towards the drones. This drone's taking a little bit of damage at the moment as well. Just going to be seeing the army still of soO pressing forwards. Kind of feels like soO just has enough. I mean, this was kind of a weird game where Zest, again, just never really achieved anything with those shield batteries, and eventually soO just has the numbers to just come across the map and to kind of kill him. He did lose a lot of drones, soO, but obviously he already has the army to win the game, so it doesn't matter. Into 3rd place, and who goes into 2nd place in this group. As the top left-hand side, our pink Protoss player on Cyber Forest. Give it up if you're cheering on Zest. Up against... God damn it. There's a fucking hair on my microphone. I can't get it off. It's really pissing me off. That's why my sounds like I'm attacking the microphone. Sorry, guys. It's in my line of vision. Bottom right-hand side, our blue Zerg is soO. As we go into our final map of the day. 10 best of 3 is going to be completed after this. Hope you guys have enjoyed. And, yeah. Hope it's been, hope it has been fun. Overlord coming across the early game. ZvP taking its few moments to get set up once again. Nexus about halfway done now. Overlord's coming across the map, setting up in a couple of different directions. Obviously just get themselves into positions where they're going to be able to scout across. Fast robo from Zest. Well, we saw this against Solar, and it actually went pretty well for him. I did like the setup initially. It's just his follow-up, which I was a little bit... that's a little bit unsure of, actually. It just felt like he was going for a 2-base all-in that never came, and then so he just sort of sat back and kind of Solar was just like, cool, well, now I'm just going to overrun you because you've been 2 bases and not doing anything forever. Robo facility going to finish up. Gateway building up a stalker. Well, Prism is on the way out again, just about halfway done at the moment. A couple of queens coming through here. As we have got the Overlord from soO out into the center of the map. Another one up at the top. Again, just waiting for that prisoner pop, but it's not going to be multiple stalkers. There's only a couple at the moment. A sentry now building. More stalkers are going to get lifted up and going to go... Oh, it doesn't go hunt the Overlord, interestingly enough. That's kind of your typical maneuver, right? Hunt down this Overlord. Shut this down. And get rid of it, as we do see the Prism from Zest down to the bottom side of the map again. Forge does start up from Zest in the main base here. Getting this ready to go. At this point, of course, it's a little bit of a different build to what we've seen, and as the Forge comes up, we'll see what Zest wants to do. Does he want to build this into a 2-base all-in? Does he want to build this in towards just kind of a typical transition towards 3 bases here? Obviously, waiting for this Prism to warp in 2 more Stalkers. That means he's got this little Stalker squad to harass in the main base with, and then following up with the Immortal already. Getting close to that 2-base saturation, which is when we start to see, does he cut probes? Does he move towards the 3rd? Again, based on earlier, Zest didn't really attack too much as we do see the Zerglings pushing forwards. Just going to see the Lings running in, getting a little bit of a surround. Just going to see the Stalkers here able to pick off a couple of these creep tumors so far. Not much many drone kills. I mean, obviously those Zerglings running around do a pretty good job for the most part. Shutting down those Stalkers. Lift back up, drop in towards the main base. And we're now going to be seeing the Queen get pushed away to the side. And getting a couple more creep tumors, pretty much all you can find here, but this Stalker harass was nowhere near as effective as when it was coming in against Solar, so not the best of setups here so far. And it's running in once again, running at this army. There's all of those gateways, plus 1 about to finish. I mean, this is why I just ask, does Zest attack this time around? Does he get aggressive, or does he just sit back and sort of go into that weird spot they went into last time? Lings and Roaches setting up towards the front. And you've seen that Hydralist Den getting started behind the 3rd base as well. Or Prism loads up a few of those Stalkers, bringing them back. And plus 1 missile attack upgrade from soO. Coming down on the 3rd hatchery as well. 4th hatch from soO going to be coming in here. Stalkers pressing in, and I'm going to be able to find a couple of creep tumors at the front. There's going to be again, a little bit of damage done, just a couple of Lings. Not a lot, right? But it's good. It's keeping soO busy. It's keeping soO paying attention to this, and you know, I mean, it's not that soO can't necessarily do that, but it is just testing soO a little bit, and Zest just looking for opportunities. If soO doesn't pay attention for a moment or two, maybe he gets something more than just a couple of Lings and a creep tumor, for example. As we see those Stalkers coming around, hitting that Overlord once again. +2 attack, and the charge still looking to complete here shortly. 45 probes, and Zest will be saturating up the 3 bases in the next few moments. Hallucinated Phoenix from Zest down to the bottom side. Scouting around, Lings and Roaches, Hydras as well. All gathering up together. Yeah, that +1 missile's halfway done. The Grooved Spine's halfway done as well. He's going to continue along as the Stalkers come through. Queen will get shot down. And we are going to be seeing those Zerglings and Hydras coming around as well. A few Roaches in towards the main base. Hallucinated Phoenix tagging that Overseer a little bit, dealing a little bit of damage. And the Stalkers just unloading once again from Zest. Going to come back to the front. Going to pick his way through that Queen and a couple more Hydras. So eventually here these Stalkers have finally started to deal some damage. Now again, a second Hydra actually, but the transfuse was good out of soO, maintaining that unit when he didn't need to lose it. 58 drones and a lot of units on the production tab now as soO perhaps doesn't want to drone any further, may just want to get aggressive, go across the map and try and put an end to this. Zest pulls back a little bit in towards the 3rd base. Do the hallucinations do damage? No. Sometimes I say the hallucination's tagging an Overlord, but it's not actually doing damage. I'm just saying it's poking around on it and pushing it a little bit. I wonder what it feels like to be attacked by a hallucination. Do you reckon you still get that, like, that fear of, like, oh my god, this is gonna really... It went right through me. Maybe you get, like, emotionally traumatized because you keep thinking you're gonna die and then you don't. And you're like, I'm immortal! Nothing can kill me anymore! And then, like, something actually comes and kills you. It's like, fuck! Maybe it fills you with overconfidence. There's so many mind games for the hallucinations, man. So many mind games. One incredible thing. Alright, here we go. Units coming up to the top side. Roaches and Hydras. Ravager as well. soO's army setting up to push up this ramp into the army of Zest here. New force fields coming down. Roaches do get caught in that a little bit. A couple of storms dropping down as well. Storms were good to hold this off, and soon now decides for the first time in a while to add some extra drones, going into a lurker den also, and 7 dropper lords, so building up into a bit more of a harassment focused army. Them lurkers as well, obviously going to change things up a little bit. Roaches, Hydras, and Ravagers going to be coming in towards the center of the map, so gathering this together here. Just going to see another Ravager morphing in the middle, then it cancels. A bit back and forth at the moment here, as we do see those Zealots just coming around the top. Going to be pressing down the right side. See what they can try and use. We have a Lock-ons and Immortals going to be picking their way through these rocks as well. We do see this army just pushing his way through this. Army in the center from soO moving around a little bit as well. Lurker Den will be completing in a moment or so. As the Lurker Den completes, so that's a whole new set of text units that can come on out here. More rocks going down. This army of soO splitting up a little bit. A lot of Zealots going to come down the left-hand side of the map. So they're all going to come down over here. And the Storm drops into the center of the Roaches and the Ravagers. Lurkers coming up as well. Another Storm too. The Storm's doing quite a lot of damage, and I feel like soO kind of walked into the trap of what kind of Zest was walking into, where soO just kind of sat back on 2 bases for a very long, 3 bases for a long time with 58 drones, and never really got off of that. And then never really was able to make anything happen with it either. Now these lurkers do go down, and Zest just aims to have the numbers to push through this for the moment. We also have Zealots running in towards this mineral line. Feelings on the other side do kill some probes, so Zest drops quite a lot of workers. But I mean, at the same time, he's going to kill at the very least the 3rd base. The 4th base maybe has too many spines on it. There's a couple of Archons, unfortunately, still fighting over there. Well, the Zealot's going to go down. I mean, another big warp in here, and as he gets away with the warp prism, good save on the Immortal. There's probably still just too many units, right? There's Zealots to tank, there's Immortals to deal a lot of damage. soO's going to struggle to clean this up, I think, and even coming in from a couple of angles. Even if Zealot's attacking an Evo Chamber for whatever reason, with the micro that he can pull out on these Immortals and Archons, it seems like Zest is going to be in a good enough position to close this out. That's GG, and Zest will take it down 2-1 in our final map of the day.